Minimalism is much more than a design trend and a decluttering fad. It's a lifestyle philosophy that advocates for simple, intentional living, and it can apply to so many aspects of your life. While the idea of living with less can be really inspiring and motivational, I think the practicalities of trying to be minimalistic and balancing everyday life can be really quite challenging and difficult to overcome. Let's talk about some practical tips and strategies that you can use to balance minimalism with your everyday life. Hi, my name's Rachel. I do videos about decluttering, minimalism and my no spend year. And today we're talking about minimalism and how we can balance it with everyday life, because it's not an easy thing to try and be minimalist with the hustle and bustle, the consumerism, the capitalism that is going on today that we live in. The world that we live in is just very all-consuming, and to try and be a minimalist within that sphere is a challenge, and there are ways that you can balance the realities of everyday life with minimalism. So let's have a look at how we can do that. The first thing you need to do is you need to define your priorities. So before you can head into a minimalism approach, you need to know what's important to you, what activities, what possessions, and what commitments you want to be able to adhere to in daily life, and which ones you are willing to let go of. You need to understand yourself first before you can be able to make those bigger decisions. Because essentially, thinking about your priorities is what's going to help you along the minimalism journey, and everybody's journey is going to be different, so you need to know what's going to work for you. There was absolutely no point me telling you how I think you should do something. These are just suggestions on how you can assess minimalism within your world and how you can help it to align with your values and beliefs. So next we need to think about embracing functional minimalism. It's not about having nothing at all, it's about having as little as possible but being able to function at your best. You have just enough items for what you need, and you're thinking about quality over quantity so that you're not having to buy multiple of the same thing because it breaks, but you're actually having a good quality range of items within your home so that they're going to last the test of time. And you also want to look at prioritising items that are really functional for you, that really are going to enrich your daily life. The next thing you need to do is streamline your spaces. Minimalism is about having that clear vision, and that clear vision means less clutter. You're going to need to think about what you can let go of and declutter items from within your home. You could start by doing one little area at a time. I do little acts of decluttering, and I share a PDF calendar on my website, and I do a monthly video here on my channel, and also you can catch any information that you need on my social media accounts, and I share those little acts every day so that you can follow along. You next want to think about the items that you can remove that aren't serving a purpose for you, any items that maybe are duplicates or similar to another like-minded item. Do you need that many multiples of an item? So think about how you can reduce items down. Think about designated storage solutions as well within your home. So as well as decluttering, you do need to organise and systemize your items so that it looks visually appealing. That will have a huge impact on how that looks within your home, but still provides function and usability. So try and think about making sure that everything has a home, and that the home of the thing that you have is relevant to how you use it and where you use it. So there's no point having charging cables in your bedroom if you always charge certain items downstairs in the living room. It should obviously live in the living room if that's where you're going to use it, because then it's really easy to get it out and put away. You want really simple systems that are going to make it easy to tidy and clear up at the end of each day. So when you're thinking about everyday activities or everyday things that you're doing, think outside the box. Think creatively about how you could do DIY projects or utilise the things that you have to make something else, or to make systems that are really organised and streamlined for yourself using the things that you've already got. One example of a creative solution is using capsule wardrobes to simplify your wardrobe so that you don't have so much thinking involved, because when you curate a capsule wardrobe, you're thinking about the colour combinations that work. You've already kind of planned what goes with what, and how to mix and match items so that you have already found solutions of a style that suits you and you know works really well. You can also think about DIY hacks, ways of utilising furniture to maximise your storage opportunities. You could use trays with inside drawers to help organise things that little bit more clearly. So utilise different ideas and get creative, search the internet for ideas of how to store things so that you can utilise the space in the best way possible. The next thing you need to do is optimise your routines. I have talked a lot about routines, and hopefully I will do a routines video that goes into a little bit more detail about how I utilise routines. But as somebody that struggles with a chronic illness, I have chronic fatigue, routines are key for me and it really simplifies my everyday life. So have routines that build in little pockets of activities that make life easier. So have a routine where at the end of the day you always clear away the dishes are always done, so that when you come down in the morning it's always a fresh start and everything is tidied away. So think about how you can utilise those routines to make things stress-free and to have a calm environment. So I always make sure that lunch is done the night before so that I'm not having to do lunches in the morning, so that I have a really calm, relaxed morning routine. And within your routine, make sure that the things that you are doing align with your goals and values. So if your goal is to do more exercise, maybe you could implement some stretching within your morning routine or bedtime routine so that it is embedded within your daily activities. And your routine is a great way to automate activities as well, to reduce the amount of thinking involved within tasks. So for example, you could have that you get your clothes ready at the beginning of the week. You know exactly roughly what capsule wardrobe you're going to use within the week, so that you don't have much decision making in the morning about what to wear. To think about how you can automate things so that it makes everyday life a little bit easier. Next up, you need to think about practicing mindful consumption. We are very much a consumer-led society where we seem to thrive on buying things and keep buying things until we have bought everything. Think about how you can reduce that consumption so that you're only buying the essentials of what you really need rather than what you want. So before buying something, make sure that you think about whether or not it aligns with your values and with your needs, rather than things that might just kind of provide aesthetics rather than practicality. So make sure that things are serving a purpose for you when you are purchasing, because ultimately it should be adding to your life, not making your life more difficult or adding to the workload. And my most important tip is to be flexible and adaptable with your minimalism journey. It is not a one-size-fits-all approach. I could tell you lots of different ways of how you should do it, but that doesn't mean it's going to line up with you and your values. There are lots of suggestions out there about ways that you can. I would research around the topic and find what works for you. At the end of the day, everybody's different, and it's about your life, your everyday activities, and how minimalism can support your everyday goals and values. So be adaptable, research around the topic, and know that actually it's got to fit in with how you want your daily life to be. So hopefully these tips will help you develop a better journey, a healthier journey with minimalism, because it can be a challenge in our capitalist society. So we've got to think about how we can practically get involved with minimalism with our daily life without it being a big burden, because actually it's not for everybody and you've got to do what's right for you. So hopefully these tips will help you to think around minimalism and how it can support your everyday life. I should be back for more videos soon. Take care, bye.